Assalamu alaikum. Thanks for inviting me out here today. Obviously, I do a lot of, after my career now, that I've, the last sort of 3-4 years, I've done a lot of, talking to the kids and trying to uplift and guide them in the right direction. And there's no direction like Islam, so I'll try to do some dawah to my people that I speak to, engage with. But Maz is going to ask me a few questions. Then after we're done, you guys can ask any questions you want, and then I'll be glad to answer them. Thanks.
Assalamu alaikum. So as you know, Brother Anthony Mundine, he's, mashallah, 3-time world champion. And when he retired, when he left the game in rugby league, he was regarded as, at that time, the best player in the world in the position that he played. So, alhamdulillah, like Anthony, just wanted to ask you, your journey, like you were barely out of school when you came to rugby league in the big game. So just from this transition phase from someone that's come from a lot of people probably know, his father was also one of the best fighters that Australia's ever produced, Tony Mundine. So just wanted to know, is there a pressure coming from a big father's, as a big father's son into the game, and how did you cope with it? And any pressures from outside, how did you deal with it, in professional?
Yeah, well, my dad, when I was young, when I was a young kid or 7, 8 years old, I always just see him getting admired, getting respected by the people. And my dad was very good, very friendly with his time. And I used to see that over the years, and I used to think, I want to be like that. I want to be known to where people have an influence on people. And so obviously my passion at the time was rugby league. I was a rugby league player. I played football since I was 4 years old, till I was 20, 24, 25, when I went to boxing. But I had the trifecta in rugby league. I was Aboriginal, I was a Muslim, and I was very, very outspoken. I used to speak my mind, and I didn't care what the ramifications were. I used to hold my ground and speak the truth. And so the system was against me in that sense, The system was against me. They always try to bring me down, downplay me, or like they do a little bit with Latrell Mitchell now, but 10 to 100 times worse than that. And by the grace of Allah, I had that resilience, had that belief and that ability to believe I was the best. And then the reason I left rugby league is because of racism. As Muslims, we know we all get judged, But being Aboriginal in this country, being a Muslim in this country, it's the quinella that you don't want to have. You're not supposed to, you'll get picked on hard. And that's what happened with me. I knew I was the best. I was the highest paid player in the game at the time. I was earning $700,000 back in '98. That's like 1.8 million today. So it was a big contract. And so in order for me to reach my dreams of playing for Australia, they kept denying me, to the point where I fell out of love with the game. And then I said, you know what, I'm going to be my own boss. I'm going to back myself and go to boxing and be a world champion. Win the title. My dad never won, because my dad fought Carlos Monzon in '74 in Buenos Aires. He was one of the best fighters of all time, Carlos Monzon. And back in them days, there was only one title, one champion. But today there's 3 or 4 belts, WBC, WBA, IBF, and WBO. 3 or 4 belts you can win. But back then there was only one belt, and he fought for the world title, but didn't win it. So my goal was to win it, and alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah, I won three, well technically 4. So yeah, alhamdulillah.
Okay, so in sports, I'm a sports scientist myself, so in sports it's very hard to break into the professional world. Then you've got players that are very good, then great, then there's a pinnacle level. So I don't know, have you heard of Michael Jordan? Yeah, Michael Jordan was a great basketball player. Now, he tried to convert his skills into baseball, and he failed badly. So I just want to ask you, like, mashallah, when you left rugby league, you were #1 ranked player, the highest paid player, and then you came into boxing, which is a lonely sport. There's no many out there that are helping you, and you, mashallah, won 3 times world title belts. So the dual code, what takes a man to become a great? Like, how did Islam help you in that? And how did your perseverance and your hard work help you in that? Thank you.
It helped me. Well, firstly, it starts with all your kids, your girls, boys, everyone. Firstly, it starts with dreams. You got to have dreams. You have to have goals and strive to achieve something that you want to obtain. So when you start having dreams and you start visualizing achieving them dreams and making them a reality, and you put the hard work in it and make all the right sacrifices in order to get it and obtain what you want to get, by the grace of Allah, and obviously stay on your du'as and close to God, 9 times or probably 10 times out of 10, anything is possible. No dream is too big, no dream is too small. But have a dream. Some people want to dream small. I wanted to dream big, and I wanted to chase my dream. And alhamdulillah, I chased it. I made all the right choices in life. Lucky my dad, from a young boy, because my dad never drank, never smoked, never took drugs. All the stigma of the Aboriginal community. Black fellas are drunks, or alcoholics, or drug addicts. My parents brought me up in a way to never ever touch that stuff. And obviously Islam teaches the same thing, because it's poisons of society, and it's who you hang around. If you haven't got a mentality like a wolf or a lion, to where you can make your own decision, then you can be led astray, And birds of a feather flock together. So show me your friends, I'll show you your future. But luckily I was strong enough that I led my friends with me on the path that I wanted to go, and that was to success, achieving my goals and dreams. So alhamdulillah for that.
So brother, just lastly, because of his achievements, he's achieved what no athlete has ever achieved. As I said, there's a few athletes that were great in one sport that came into the other and they failed. Alhamdulillah, this brother here, rugby league, everyone knows, and mashallah, boxing as well. So with that, Anthony has a mindset program. It's called the Mundine Mindset. So www.mundinemindset.com, where mashallah he goes around and teaches. So I'll just let Anthony talk about that, and then if you guys got any questions, we've got about 10 minutes. So inshallah.
Yeah, so I've got a couple of companies, with disability. My sister's in the disability space, so the NDIS, we service, not just black fellas, but anyone disability that's growing. I've got a construction company, but my heart and my soul, my legacy is with my mindset program, because I know that through my story and through my journey of life and through my success, I can uplift and motivate and really, get these young kids thinking of dreaming like I did back in the day. So alhamdulillah, and I'm just gonna, I'll do it at a community level, a corporate level, any sporting level, it doesn't matter, any level. And so I'm just gonna soldier on with that and try and change lives, as many lives as I can. I'll just tell you a quick story. When I was about 14 years old, a lot of my family and friends were around Revert, Waterloo. It's a lot of indigenous area. So I went to school in there and stuff. So, when you go roaming the streets, and I know I was never a drinker or smoker, but we went to this house, and there was a terrace. So I went into the terrace, and the brothers were in there smoking pot, Yandi, like marijuana, and they was puff giving it. I was only about 14 years old, and they said, "Choc, do you want to have a go?" And I sort of froze, froze for must have been about 10 seconds, but it felt like a minute, felt like an eternity. And I froze, and then I come back and I said, "Nah, man, that's not for me, bro. I'm out of here. I'll see you later, So I left. Then I was walking up over the hill to go back to the train station, and I started breaking down. Anyone, cried hysterically, like you couldn't stop crying, like a little kid, I couldn't stop crying. And then I eventually stopped. And then when I stopped, I realized, I knew from that moment that I could achieve and do whatever I want, because those that were closest to me couldn't get me to, couldn't persuade me in any way, shape or form. And then from there, I just went up and up.
Thank you, brother, for taking time out. I know you're a busy man, and alhamdulillah, on a short notice, you came here. Alhamdulillah, we've got about 5 minutes. Is there any questions that someone wants to? Yeah, brother.
In your opinion, who's the greatest
Brother here.
In your opinion, who is the greatest boxer of all time?
As a hard one, the greatest boxer. I'm not sure about who the greatest boxer is. That's a debatable. I love Ali. I love Sugar Ray Leonard. I love Sugar Ray Robinson. Like, they were greats. Floyd Mayweather is a great fighter. Of our era. I don't know about who's the greatest boxer of all time, but I know one thing: I'm the greatest athlete of all time. Thank you.
Yes, brother.
Yeah, I'm going to ask a question from your knowledge of Islam and also your experience to your achievement for sport or success. What would you put in 3 keywords that make you successful to Islam?
3 keywords? Yeah. Probably the 3 keywords was sacrifice. Obviously, making the right choices in life. Like, I never drunk. I never. It was all like, not a bad word, but it was all like done sins in our time. Obviously, it was when I was a youngster. I used to go out with my friends and things like that. But sacrifice. I worked hard. Work ethic was second to none. But probably the main thing was having the right mindset in order to, the mind is so powerful. Like, people tell you it's probably 90% mental, and 10% physical. Like, it's all in your head, and it's all what you guys want to get out of yourselves, and where you want to take your lives, and what you want to do with it. Anything is possible. No dream's too big, I told you. And anything. So if you want to do something, put it up here first. And have the trust in Allah.
Now, in about 2000, when did you fought Otke, brother? 2001. Sven Otke. Now, Sven Otke was one of the great boxers of all times. And Anthony was winning the fight, and Sven Otke got lucky. Now, I was watching the fight in Star City, right? And it really hurt me where an Australian icon, he was icon at the time, when he lost, like, Australia just like started cheering the German. And like, what I'm trying to say is, it's very hard. It's very, a sportsman loves to have the nation behind them. So he's one of the few people, along with Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali never had the whole America behind him, the mainstream. So alhamdulillah.
I'll tell you the story behind that. Remember when 9/11 happened, right? 9/11 happened. And I was fighting Otke. I was getting ready for a fight to Sven Otke for the world title. I never had no amateur career. I never had no amateur career. I never had no amateur. I just come straight from rugby league, being the best player in the world, playing rugby league, and become boxing. I had 10 fights, only 10 professional fights. So I was learning on the job. I was learning. So I was still very green, very fresh. So I come to the 10th fight. I got offered a fight. I was ranked in the top 15 in the world. and I got offered a fight to fight Sven Otke as an optional fight. And me being cocky and confident, I was like, yeah, I'll fight him. But get this, Sven Otke had 300 amateur fights, 2 Olympic Games, 22 professional fights, and 12 of those 22 fights were title defenses. So he won the title after 10 fights, then he had 12 defenses. So he defended the title 12 times, and I've only had 10 fights. So, I took it on. I shouldn't have took it on, but I was out of my, by right, I was out of my league. But if you want to Google Sven Otke Ring Magazine interview, you'll see he puts in 10 categories: fastest hands, best defense, best footwork, all these categories, and I was in 7 of them. And he said the hardest fighter he's ever fought in his career, in his whole life. This is amateur and professional. Was Anthony Mundine, and that was a big from your peers saying that, and so early in my career, and I took him on in Germany. So back to the story. So 9/11 happened, and I was fighting Sven Otke 3 weeks later in Germany. So they come to me, the media, and said, "So what do you think about 9/11?" I said, "Well, I just told the truth. I was raw. I was raw off the cuff. I didn't care." But it was probably at the time it was very fragile. I shouldn't have said it so raw. I just said, well, America had it coming to them in the sense that they go into all these other countries, kill and bomb all these other countries. It just come back to them. You know what I mean? And they put it in the media that I was for the killings. I was somebody that was like a terrorist like them. And so they ran me out of the country. So I went to Germany early. 3 weeks I was in Germany. I never did no sparring. I never did no because I was too afraid they was trying to spy on me and stuff and things like that. But so my mind wasn't really, mentally I wasn't really there. But I went to go for my goal, go for my dream, and that was to win the world title. And I was winning the fight, then I lost in the 10th round. I got knocked out cold as a maggot. I got knocked out cold, right? And then I got on the flight, come back home, and on the way back home, I'm thinking to myself, I just got knocked out. You said you're going to be champion, you just got knocked out. What are you going to do, And I was I was going to go back to football. I said, no, you got to be in it. You said you're going to do this, you're going to be a man. So by the time I got back home, I jumped off the plane, I was walking off the plane, and the reporter said to me, what are you going to do now, Mundine? You lost your title. I said, don't worry, bro, it's a lucky shot, baby. And I kept walking. And then a year and a half later, I become Otke's mandatory again. But in that time, Otke won another title. And I become Otke's mandatory. So a mandatory means he has to fight me. He has to fight me next. So Otke, given that what he said, everything about me in his review and in the interview with Ring Magazine, if you check it out, you'll see it. He done the right thing and he retired, because I was going to retire him. But he retired, so he left the belt vacant. I fought the next best in line, which I was number 1. Antoine Eccles, he just passed away. God rest his soul. He was number 2. African American fella. I fought him for the top vacant belt, and by the grace of Allah, I won the championship of the world, and there was nothing they could do or say about that. On that day, I was true to my word, and they could never take that away from me.
I think just last question, and then
Assalamu alaikum, brother. Just a quick question about how you managed your cultural identity and then Islam, obviously through the journey that you've had.
I'll tell you a little bit. I'll tell you a little bit of that journey, bro. Because I was battling with that too myself. Because alhamdulillah, I want to give my brother Togetherness, who's my former manager. I feel like I'm indebted. I feel like I'm indebted to him for life, because he brought Islam to me. I read the Malcolm X autobiography. I was a big fan of Malcolm X. I read that autobiography. And then I started learning the fundamental about Islam. But I was battling with that aboriginality, my cultural beliefs. So I went back to where my dad's from, up in the far north coast, up in New South Wales, Boigle, Tabalum, and I sat with the old uncles, and they started telling me about our tribal law and what we believed as a people. And guess what? We believed in the one Creator, the one God. And the one God, with no partners, with no associates. And that sort of solidified it for me. But not just that. Tribal law as far as, within our tribes culturally, is identical to Sharia law. That's crazy. Alhamdulillah, that got my seal. Then that's when I knew, alhamdulillah, that's when I took my shahada, and I haven't looked back, brother. I'm so content with life. As a Muslim, we prepare for death every day. We turn to Allah. Alhamdulillah, I've been on my salahs for the last 6 years, for 5 times a day. You know what I mean? But before that, when I was younger and that, obviously I pray here and there. But alhamdulillah, Allah's given me that, and I come to one Ramadan. This is how I started getting to my salahs properly. I come to one Ramadan. Because everyone's trying to be real holy in Ramadan. You want to get close to as many rewards as you can get. So I was trying to get everyone. I was thinking, I want to do every salah this Ramadan. I want to do every salah, and I want to do the Taraweeh prayers. I want to do it both. You know what I mean? I know it's going to be a challenge, but do it. So I'm doing it. The first week, I get over the first week. I was mad. Get over the first week. The second week, I get over the second week. Oh, I'm mad. Get over the second week. I come to the last 10 days. I'm like, oh, yeah, baby, we're on the way home. You know what I mean? So I'm on the way home. 7 days, 6 days, So I was still praying. I'm doing every prayer, like 5 prayers, daily prayers, and the Taraweeh prayers. And then I get to the end of the Taraweeh prayers, and then you don't have to pray them anymore. And then I'm like, praying 5 prayers is nothing. You know what I mean? Like praying 5 prayers is easy, compared to that. So then I just continued on my 5 daily prayers, and that's how I become got my salah to where it is today. And alhamdulillah, if I miss a salah or I'm late for a salah, I'm God conscious, and I just want to get it done. So yeah.
Yeah, I tried Tarawih once as well, but that was my quota for the year, man. Thank you very much. Look, it was an honor to have you here, alhamdulillah. And for someone who's achieved greatness, goal setting, alhamdulillah, the base is Islam. So alhamdulillah, the brother's got, mashallah, a lot of taqwa that takes him into his professional world, and mashallah, the whole world has seen the result. So thank you very much for coming, and jazakallah khair.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I much appreciate it. Like I said to all the kids, have a dream. Even you ladies, if there's a lot of stuff you can do, obviously halal, in business or whatever. Set goals, set dreams, and set so you guys can achieve them as well. But jazakallah, thanks very much for having me, and I'll sit. And there's some news coming out soon, so alhamdulillah, and by the grace of God, we're going to take it to another level. So thank you.
This way here.